Okay, I tried. We still have a few people popping in. We've got Carmen. Welcome, Carmen. We have Magos Sandoval. Magos Sandoval.
Sí.
Welcome. Bienvenida.
Gracias.
Gracias por estar aquí. All righty, ladies. I think I'm going to give it maybe one more minute if you don't mind, and then we'll get right in and we'll introduce ourselves. We were having a little bit of a Zoom issue, so I hope that you guys can see our screens okay as soon as we share them. If for whatever reason you can't, please let me know right away so I can adjust. Bonnie, I'm so glad you've got your PB Assist on hand.
Yes, I do.
All right, I'm going to watch the room for just one more minute, and then we will get plugged in. I'm excited for this class, you guys. I'm a little bit nervous. I did oil up a lot because we are going to have a lot of hands-on stuff going on tonight, as we've got my son Alexis, who's sitting here with me, that we will be able to show you a little bit about Symphony of the Cells. And the reason why we want to do that is for those of you that are not familiar, it's for you to familiarize yourself with it, as well as implement this cool, how would you call it? Form of essential oil application that you can integrate with your little ones. And so I'm really excited to be able to share this along with my team. We were able to be, just for those of you that are new, that don't know us, we were able to be part of the Symphony of the Cells course back in June. And we've got a couple other people joining that are part of our organization. And it's really exciting for them to bring that back and share with everyone on what Symphony of the Cells can be for our families and how simple it can be just by using 4 of our top oils that are great for so many different things. We will get into that here in a little while, but I think we've got everybody in. If for whatever reason we see someone else, I'll stop. I want to invite you to please pause me. Please ask questions, unmute yourself and ask a question if you have one at any point during the presentation, and or if you have anything that you've learned along the way and that you want to add. Our point with this whole live video tonight is to be able to project that upon other people and let other parents know that we can use our oils in so many different ways to support so many different children and ourselves along the way. And we want to show them how they can utilize those as well. So without further ado, I want to go ahead and introduce you to 2 of my friends and business partners. I've got Claudia and Bonnie on here that will participate with me during the presentation. And so ladies, go ahead and unmute yourselves and introduce yourselves if you can.
Hi everyone, I'm Claudia. I'm currently in California. I needed to be sharing a little bit more about Symphony of the Cells with all of you tonight. So if you have any questions or you guys feel free to ask me if you didn't understand something. This is going to be a little bit of a hands-on. So Fabiola is going to be doing the Symphony of the Cells. I'll kind of guide you a little bit prior to her presenting the Symphony of the Cells herself.
Thank you, Claudia, and welcome. Ms. Bonnie Joe.
Well, you changed the screen. I don't see anybody.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I don't even know what I'm looking.
There's 12 of us on here tonight, so I promise we're here.
Okay, so I'm Bonnie, and I've been doing doTERRA for about 4 years, and I'm here to talk to you about how I use PB Assist on my daughter. And I love my oils, and I hope you all will enjoy them too.
Thank you so much, Bonnie. And my name is Fabiola. I'm with Fabulously Healing on Instagram. I have 2 little boys, and one of my biggest passions is teaching others how they can utilize essential oils with any type of child. I have a toddler that has a lot of emotion, a lot of demand. And so trust me when I say we live and thrive on oils every single day. My journey with doTERRA starts with, everybody starts with one, right? With my 3-year-old at the time, who now is sitting with me here on the right. He is going to be my model tonight with Symphony of the Cells. His name's Alexis, and we were diagnosed at age of 3 with autism because he wasn't speaking, and there was a few little other red flags to go along with that. And so he was misdiagnosed with autism at a very young age. A friend of mine, such as I imagine one of your friends did to you, introduced me to an oil. At the time, we used Balance and Intune, and we did exactly what she did, didn't ask questions, applied it on the back of the spine, bottoms of the feet, every single night and every morning before school, behind the ears. The teachers in preschool complained. I didn't care. I just knew that I had a lot of passion for it. And as I was utilizing these tools with my son, I myself was also receiving the benefit of that, which is why it makes perfect sense for us to share about Symphony of the Cells tonight with you all, and to show you how you can utilize that as well as part of your regimen to support any part of your child's or yourself's needs. Along the way, you're going to be supporting yourself as well. In a nutshell, my story goes: misdiagnosis at 3, a lot of changes in nutrition, as we all know, is really important. Adding supplementation and integrating high quality essential oils, such as the ones that we have the ability to have. And the rest is history. My son in 2nd grade gets diagnosed again after so much improvement in school with ADHD. And we could definitely sit well with that. We could really understand that that was his need, and that's where we were heading. And so I don't consider myself to know it all. In fact, we'll talk about this in a moment, but I do know one thing. I know my son very well. And even though ADHD is a title that he has, he's totally like opposite of that, right? With all the tools that we give him, all the support that we do with him, everything that we offer him and we take away, right? Such as additives and artificial sugars and adding omegas into his life, right? We have seen a huge impact. It's all about doing the work. And you will then see that, these titles are titles, but as we implement certain things with them, it makes it so that you're like, I don't even know if that's, that's a thing. At least that's for me, right? And I'm not saying that's going to be the case for everyone, but I consider Alexis, when he has all his tools bright, spot on, he gets his things done, he gets his work done, which is the most important part for him to be successful. And so that's my story in a nutshell. And so with that said, we would love to present to you behavior and physical support for all kids and parents. Disclaimer before we begin: this presentation is not meant to treat or diagnose or suggestions should be discussed with your medical professional. Thank you for connecting with us tonight, and really stick to what you believe in when it comes to these natural tools. All right, we've sort of introduced ourselves. I kind of jumped the gun a little bit here. And Bonnie, I could not find her picture of us at convention last year, so my apologies for that. But we are mothers who want to support our children with gifts of the earth. And tonight we are eager to empower you to do the same. Okay, just for beginners here, I'm gonna go back just a little bit. And I want to talk about some of the points that we are going to be discussing tonight. So who we are, obviously, supporting the mind, detoxing, digestion, foods that heal the body, and foods that maybe we should avoid, right? Especially when we're dealing with behaviors that are not necessarily positive sometimes amongst our children. And how you can connect with us as well so we can further assist you. So with that said, I would like to talk a little bit about mind and mood and some of our top oils. As we all know, we have a lot of oils, right? Everybody has a list of all the different ones that they'd like to add to their cart for the next LRP. But tonight we wanted to keep it super simple and just really highlight some of the top oils that are great for mind and mood for not just kids, but also for us parents, and different ways that you can utilize these tools to also support yours. And if you happen to have an experience with one of these oils yourself, something like like super powerful that you want to share with us tonight, we would love for you to unmute yourself and share as well. So I'm going to start with our OG, the one that everybody's, I feel like, loves, and that is Adaptive. Adaptive is exactly that, right? It helps adapt to situations. We know that oils, if you're brand new to oils, can be used topically, right, over the body, on the bottoms of the feet, spine, etc. Internally, right? If you have supplement packs on one of our oils, you'll notice a difference, right? Some of them have supplement packs, others don't. You can utilize those. Excuse me, let me see if we have anybody on here that we need to. I'll probably mute. If you can, please mute yourself. I don't have the ability to do so, but just because it just distracts the audio on this side and it echoes really, really bad. So if you don't mind just muting yourself, that would be super helpful for my squirrel brain sometimes. So I'm sorry, there's other ways that you can utilize the oils, right? So topically, internally, and in topical, internally, and in a diffuser. And so aromatically, right? And you can really accomplish so many different things when we're utilizing our oils, such as either calming or sleep, or maybe you've got a little one. Today I was giving a class out at the park and I was telling people that with toddlers, sometimes it's hard, sometimes you don't. There's just not enough oils you can use on them, and that's okay. It's more of that being able to support them with what you have and acknowledging their feelings and just kind of going with what they need, right? Whether that's a snack or that's an oil or that's including them in your class so they feel like they belong. I don't know, whatever the case might be for you. But Adaptive really does support the body as a whole. It helps you adapt to situations, it calms the mind, and it really alleviates any stress that we're dealing with. One of my favorite things to do with oils, specifically for children, is adding oils to their stuffy or maybe their blankie, right? Sometimes our kids don't want to be touched. They don't like that feel, right? Or they're not comfortable with oils, or they're just pissed off, right? My kid gets mad and he's like, I don't even want you to touch me with oils because I already know what it's going to do. And it's totally fine, right? You can apply that oil or add those oils to a stuffy or a blanket and support their mind and mood where they could smell that. We already know these oils are so wonderful and they're going to help aromatically using a pack, right? A blanket or a stuffy for that matter. Claudia, I know you really like Calmer. Would you like to talk a little bit about Calmer and how it's helped you with your children? I don't know if you can hear me.
I'm sorry.
No worries. I don't know if
I'm sorry. So, can you? Yes. I'm sorry. Yeah, I could hear you. Calmer has been such an amazing oil to use here at home, especially for my kids that I home my kids. So as if you are a parent and of course you want to kind of calm your kids at times when they're like all over the place, or when the times that we have gone to the dentist, my kids already know, and they know that if they want to calm themselves down, they'll apply their Calmer. They carry their Calmer around with them, and it's been very, very necessary tool here at home. So I love Calmer. I love all of the ones that you've just suggested, and they've been amazing. They've been really amazing.
Thank you so much, Claudia. I thought about Claudia first because I have seen her use Calmer specifically when she goes to the dentist or when she's at an appointment. I know that she pulls out her oils. This is one of the ones that she recommended that we talk about during the class. It has very different oils than what you'll find in Serenity, right? It's very calming, very soothing, very baby smell. I don't know if that's even a smell, right? But I know as parents, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's that very nurturing smell that keeps us calm during, an appointment, etc. Applying these oils like 30 minutes before it's time to get out of the play structure or before you're going to show up to an appointment, up and down the spine, right behind their ears where they can smell it. And those oils start driving into the body and creating a great atmosphere for them and for yourself as well, because nobody really enjoys as parents, right? A tantrum right before it's time to get out of the play structure, etc. I know you guys can really attest to this one. before we jump to Copaiba,
Wait. Can I add?
absolutely, please do.
So we're talking about putting on our children, but adaptive works on the parents as well. So it also help you deal with your children's tantrums and misbehavior. I use it all the
Absolutely.
time. My kids are adults.
100%. And I think something that we could probably agree on too, as moms and parents, et cetera, is that it's kind of like that logic when you're in the airplane, right? You have to put on your mask first before you put it on your child to be able to assist the child. So same thing here. It's like when we're utilizing, such as Bonnie saying, the oils ourselves so that we can deal with the tantrum where you're like, can you just please, being able to use them on ourselves, keeping us calm, also really brings down the amount of negative energy that you're sending out to that child, that you're like, come on, I really need you to please get it together right now and all that. So definitely a really, really good point. Thank you for sharing, Bonnie. I'm going to ask Alexis right now that I'm going to talk about Copaiba, and I want him to come on over and he can introduce himself to you guys. And Alexis is going to talk to you guys a little bit about how he integrates Copaiba before he goes into Alexis, my friends are waiting for you, honey. Oh, okay. Thank you. He was still like playing with his story. How he integrates Copaiba in his regular before he goes to what practice? You wanna say hello? Hello. This is Alexis, my son. He's 12 years old. You go ahead and share with them, honey. It's all you.
Oh no.
I'm just kidding. So how do we utilize Copaiba with you? What do we do when we're on our way to basketball practice, for example?
So I put it behind my neck. Give me at least, I believe, like 2 to.
Do you put it under your tongue?
Yes.
How many drops do you use under your tongue, and how does it make you feel?
I believe it was. It's been what,
Do you want me to help you?
5.
Okay,
drops?
so Alexis does 5 drops of Copaiba under his tongue before he does his basketball practice or before a game, right? And how does that make you feel?
Very calm and very soothing.
Very soothing. So on a day when you don't use Copaiba before a game, how does the game go?
I want to talk about it.
Okay, fine, don't talk about it. And let's just say it's the opposite of that. Let's just say that he is very well aware that Copaiba makes a huge impact in him in a really, really good way, right? Copaiba is known as our natural CBD. I know a lot of parents that I talk to that either have a diagnosis of either ADD, ADHD, or autism. They look for CBD to calm, to soothe, to reduce anxiety. And what's really unfortunate is that the CBD out in the market is a product that is never going to be 100% pure. 1, 2, you're still getting it from a weed, right? And 3, it's very, very expensive to get a good high dose of it that will last you a long time. With our oils, right, such as Copaiba, you're getting 250 drops of Copaiba in one bottle, and you're able to use it throughout in different forms, such as before basketball practice. Now, obviously, Alexis is 12 years old. We've been using oils with him for a long time. He's about 130 pounds in weight, if not a little heavier. For me, it's okay to introduce essential oils to him internally. Oh, do we have a unmuted? Okay. If he was obviously, like, for example, a little younger, like Mateo is 3 years old, right? We obviously would not do it internally in the way that I'm doing it with Alexis. I would then apply the oils on his spine and the bottoms of the feet. One of the coolest ways to get an essential oil to activate, especially for us parents, when we're dealing with mind and mood things, is to use our oils that we can use internally, such as lavender, Copaiba. Those are the 2 that come to mind right away. And to put them under our tongue when we're dealing with a really stressful situation with our children, right? We calm ourselves, we take care of the situation, we clear our mind, and we can actually process what needs to happen to get things done and to get that child to do X, Y, and Z, and or to just deal with the moment, because sometimes our kids just have to have a moment, and that's totally fine. Another oil, does anybody have any questions on that by chance, on internal use, etc.? Let me look at our comments here. Hi, Alexis. Thanks for sharing with us. Copaiba is our 11-year-old daughter's favorite oil to calm her racing thoughts at bedtime. Yes, that's awesome. Thank you for sharing, Katie. This is a wonderful oil to really support that aspect of our life, right? To support before bed. For those of you that don't know this, copaiba is found in adaptive, and so is lavender, amongst other oils, right? So you're really getting a great opportunity to experience copaiba in a different form that way. But yes, absolutely, with what we call, oops, hopefully you guys can hear me okay. What we can use for sleep as well can be used to support the mind and mood during a tantrum. So another example of how cool our oils are. They're very versatile, using them in different forms. Thank you for sharing, and thank you so much, Katie. Serenity is another oil that we absolutely love. This one's one of my favorites. Specifically, it always comes to mind for those little ones that are teething. Believe it or not, they're in crummy moods, right? They're not happy, they're aching, they're sprouting in the gums, right? Nobody likes a teething baby's attitude sometimes, because it's very stressful. There's no soothing that comes unless you have obviously essential oils, right? So for me, Serenity Essential Blend is a really cool one to utilize to support little minds on the jawline, on the spine. It has that Roman chamomile. For those of you that don't know, Roman chamomile is one of those oils that is used in some of the NICU departments to soothe babies that have been born from mamas that were addicts, that had like maybe some kind of drug addiction, and they cry a lot or they're very fuzzy. And so they will use lavender or Roman chamomile in what we see the NICU departments. There's a really great article out there. I think it's some of the universities out in the East Coast that really show how these products or how these oils, right, can work for little babies in this way, right? They're very soothing. And so I love that Serenity has that already in the blend, and it can help with teething babies, right? Mind and mood, sleep, et cetera, along with us as well. So if you guys have any questions on that, please feel free to unmute yourselves. I'm more than happy to answer anything that I can. I want to point out something to you guys. If for those of you that are not in the know, doTERRA does a really great job at sourcing our oils to make a bigger impact. Katie, I know you will agree on this one. I had the opportunity to be in Oregon at our Corvallis field that grows our peppermint and our Roman chamomile. And let me tell you, not only are you making an impact on your mood, on your child's mood, but you're also making an impact on our United States farmers. And this is a really big deal for me. And I love that we are doing that and supporting the growth of a beautiful flower that brings us so much healing and so much support in different forms. So just wanted to throw that out there so you keep that in mind next time that you use Roman chamomile or Serenity. All right, with that said, mind and mood and ways to utilize oils, right? We talked about stuffies, we talked about putting them on blankets, adding them to diffusers, so many different ways that we can utilize mind and mood before and afters, etc. Let's talk a little bit about what it is to support a child with something as common as a bag of Epsom salt, right? For those of you that are not aware, Epsom salt is dissolved in water. It releases magnesium and sulfate ions. The idea is that these particles can be absorbed through your skin, providing you with magnesium and sulfates, along with supporting the body in different ways, such as aiding in digestion, pain, calming, eclampsia, and even detox, okay? Why I point this out to you guys is because a lot of children that I work with often have constipation. They don't poop. They have issues with just aches, right? Or they're achy, and or they have a hard time going to sleep, or we're seeing a huge rise in anxiety amongst children, specifically in my case with children that I support with ADD and ADHD. There's a lot of anxiety. Children with ADD and ADHD, if you don't support that aspect of giving them tools to help with their mind and mood, their anxiety just goes sky high. I know this for a fact. This is why we talk a lot about using Epsom salt baths. My children, Alexis is a really good avid user of his Epsom salts. He knows that it'll bring his stress levels down, and or after basketball practice, it's very soothing to him. He loves to use Copaiba. He uses DDR Prime whenever he has something viral going on. Another one that he absolutely loves is Tulsi and Adaptive together. Those two oils in Epsom salt. Now, let me pause for just a second. Alexis, do you want to demonstrate the Epsom salt or do you want me to do it?
Yeah, so,
I can do it if you'd like. Okay, so as Alexis comes over and he talks about some of the combinations that you can create are not only to support like stress, but also supporting digestion, right? So if you have a kiddo that struggles with, he can't poop, it's not working, right? Obviously, Epsom salt alone is awesome, and it can, if you just put it in there and then scoop it out. it
I
might
know
be
it was
easier that way.
really broken though.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't broken enough.
You got it? Okay, so obviously when we're using Epsom salt alone, it'll help in all these different areas, but can you imagine adding Digestin when your child can't poop, right? If you're having constipation and or et cetera, that's perfect. And then utilizing that and seeing how those oils, you help those oils with the Epsom salt, drive them into the body, absorbing that into the body and helping with digestion. I mean, I think that's really, really awesome and genius. When I was introduced to Epsom salts as a form of supporting my child through viral things like, you know, the common flu or any respiratory things, I was like, okay, this is really cool. Let me try these different concoctions. So we've done eucalyptus, breeze, we've done cardamom, we've done almost everything. The key is to add your oils to the Epsom salt first before adding that into the bath. You don't want to do the opposite, okay? And the way that by doing this, you actually help the oils really kind of mix really well with the Epsom salt. We're kind of ghetto over here. So what we do is we just put our palm over it and we just shake. We've done this a few times, right? And we add the oils, we shake it up, and then we pour it right into the bath. The kids sit for about 20 minutes. It is said that in the first 10 minutes is when you will get the body to release toxins the most, right? So this is something that I learned from one of my friends that supports her child with autism, right? Specifically in detoxification. Some of her favorite oils are cilantro, DDR Prime. What else does she like? Xendocrine, lemon, grapefruit. So she uses those to support detox of toxins, right? We're exposed to toxins all the time. And so it is a great practice, if I may recommend, right? To utilize Epsom salt baths with your kids. Of course, if you have an Epsom salt, if you have a bath at least 3 times a week, and making it a point to do it, right? When it's flu season, when the kids are going back into school, and or if you're homeschooling, we've got more play dates, more groups that we belong to. And so obviously our kids are going to get sick. It's normal. It's part of the process of being a human. However, we can definitely support the healing process by utilizing your oils in Epsom salt baths in this form. It is recommended to do about 20 minutes and allow those kids to enjoy them, get them involved. Like, for example, if your child is like really not excited about you doing things to them, right? You like applying oils to them, show them how they can do it to themselves. My little one, he does not want me to touch him. He wants to do his own thing. He grabs his oils and does his own thing. As long as you've got those oils set for them, for where they know these are your oils, this is the one for your tummy, this is your deep blue for growing pains, etc. They can totally utilize those oils themselves, and you don't have to worry about ODing, right? You don't have to worry about causing an a reaction that's going to be negative to them, right? Because these essential oils are metabolized through the body, they're accepted by the body, as long as that they're obviously certified pure therapeutic grade essential oils. Does anybody have questions on the Epsom salt situation here? I'm going to look over here. Yes.
I have a newborn and he is very, very fussy. And I was wondering if I can do the Epsom salt, and then if so, which ones do you recommend for fussiness and how many drops I should add?
I'm sorry. It was a little bit quiet. So that was a child, and how old?
He is about 5 weeks now.
5 weeks. Okay. Personally, I have not used essential oils on a baby. I will get an answer to you on that. Is anybody on here familiar with Epsom salts with their babies that they can maybe share? I personally didn't start using them until my kiddo was about 1, my last baby. So if anybody would like to share a little bit about that, I know that it is recommended about a fourth cup after like, any routine procedures, and using about 2 to 3 drops with babies, I've heard, but I don't know that for certain. Is there anybody on here? Katie, do you happen to have any insight that you'd like to share on that? If anybody does, feel free to unmute yourself, but I would do less and let me give you an answer, okay? I will definitely let you know.
Thank you.
I have a 7-week-old and I'm curious as well. I hadn't thought about using the Epsom salts, but I had thought about like just using them topically, and I know the ratio has to be super, super low.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know about the Epsom salts with their sensitive skin. Everything I've seen, it's like wait to use pretty much anything on them until 6 months, but I don't know. It's a good question.
I'm sorry, I don't know that answer. I definitely will dig in through our community and ask any other mom that has had this experience with them and to see what she recommends we could utilize. Again, for my kiddos, I started with my last baby when he was about 1. So I'll get back to you on that if that's okay, Rebecca. And Rebecca, what is if you just want to message me directly on how I can reach you so I can give you that answer, if you don't mind.
Sounds good.
I would really awesome. Thank you so much.
There's
All
a
right,
question, Fabiola, there's a question of Carmen Alvarez. She's asking, I have heard that frankincense is good for the kids with speech issues and autism. How do you recommend it be used?
Great question, Carmen. Just because I have had this experience, again, I'm not a professional, I'm not a speech pathologist. I am just sharing my story. Our story starts, my kid doesn't speak at all. He's diagnosed with autism, right? And now he's 12 years old. And I always tell my husband, I'm like, can you imagine, like, remember we used to struggle with that? That's so wild how life just evolves, right? One of my favorite ways to use essential oil, specifically frankincense for autism support, is on the spine and on the bottoms of the feet, behind the ears specifically. This is a really great practice to try to get those oils in. Another really good oil that we implemented with Alexis during his speech process and journey was actually basil. It's something that I don't have here on a presentation, but I will share with you all. Basil is an incredible oil. It's a neurotonic. If you apply it over the forehead and or even in tune over the forehead, you can really accomplish that kind of support. For those of you that are not familiar with Intune is our focus blend, and it does have oils such as frankincense. So utilize that way. I think being just very active with applying it and supporting them, and along with your speech therapist, of course, right, and whatnot, whatever else that you're doing, you may find some type of improvement and or at least supporting the emotion during the journey. So hopefully that is helpful. So just up and down the spine. If you have it in the 15 milliliter, which is the full version, right? You want to make sure that you create a roller bottle. If your child is, Carmen, can you maybe just drop the age on there? So they say about a drop per year. So I usually use the 10 milliliters with my kiddos, and I don't usually dilute Intune. Intune is a full oil, like it doesn't have any dilution. And I always use it like that. But typically like between, 5 and 10, depending on the age of the child is what I would do.
Fabiola?
And less is more. Yes.
I found that this is what I found. It is generally recommended to avoid using Epsom salt on infants under 2 months old. It is important to consult a pediatrician before using any products on such young babies.
Perfect. So so avoid it 2 months and under, right?
Yes, that's what it
Yeah.
says.
Okay. Thank you so much, Marta.
Thank you.
So there's that idea as well. Definitely consult your pediatrician and see what they suggest. Okay, so Carmen, hopefully that was helpful with that. So I know we talked a little bit about digestion. Today I'm really excited because we're going to have our friend Bonnie show us how she uses PB Assist, which is our quote unquote child probiotic. I have some exciting news for those of you that are not in the know. doTERRA is going to be releasing in September a prebiotic, a postbiotic, and probiotic all in one. It'll come in sachets. It'll be 7 billion versus the 5, whatever it is, right? So it'll go up by 2 million or 2 billion or whatever number that is. So it's going to be better. And it's going to be for a lot of different ages, meaning that if your 4-year-old, which is what the recommended age is for the PB Assist, starts to take it, your adult that can't swallow the PB Assist for adults because they just don't do capsules, right, can also take it and can also benefit. So if you're already one of our clients, please stay tuned for that. I will suggest, please, to keep your probiotics on LRP because you are going to get a special deal come September when we have the upgrade of product, okay? So just a little extra also, doTERRA is one of the companies that is always looking to give us better product, to better support us, better assist us. And so they're always listening to us when it comes to, like, for example, certain ingredients like xylitol that is found in our toothpaste. And I believe it's also in the PB Assist Junior. They're getting rid of that. And that way, if you're, for example, Bonnie, your dog gets into the PB Assist, they don't have a problem, right? Because there's no xylitol in it. And so things like that, they're very mindful about. And I want you to also know that they're working on redoing our probiotics because they understand now how the microbiome is working. Or maybe they already knew that, right? But then maybe there was no need for it at the time. And now there's more need of us adding a postbiotic and making it go full circle for better supporting our, not only just our microbiome from our gut flora, but all of our microbiome in all the different places that we have it, right? So with that said, we will talk about probiotics here in a second, but I'm going to talk about one of my favorite products that we have. And the reason why I talk about this is Terrazymes. I don't know if anybody here on this call has ever struggled with eczema specifically, right? And or a baby that can't be breastfed and has to be formula fed, and the formula is just causing all kinds of craziness in the gut, right? This is a story with one of my most current clients. Her mother and I knew each other, and she called me. She knew that lavender would help with perhaps eczema, but I wanted to share more with her. I wanted to share how Terrazymes could be used for the baby, how she could open those up, right? Because they're loosely packed, and put into her formula to support her digestive issues and also help with the eczema. As we all know, anything that's skin, right? Psoriasis, eczema, etc. A lot of times it's stemming from the gut. It's stemming from something that's going on in the tummy. So being able to have had that experience just recently, just really empowers me and really makes me feel so good about sharing more and more and letting people know how wonderful Terrazymes can be for our bodies, right? We have kids that don't ingest, and that's totally fine. And they still need this in their life to help absorb nutrients and break down nutrients to give the organs the ability to do their jobs better, et cetera, et cetera. And so Terrazymes is something that I will recommend as a mom to utilize with your kiddo. Opening that up, right? If you're breastfeeding them, take them internally. This is recommended by oh my gosh, I blanked out on his name, the Symphony of the Cells creator. And he recommends to take them internally, mamas, if you're breastfeeding, and support your baby through the breast milk, because they're going to get that enzyme into their body through breastfeeding, right? And if you're not breastfeeding, for example, you can.
Boyd Truman.
Boyd Truman, thank you. Boyd Truman. So Boyd Truman taught us this, and the question that I asked him was, okay, so being a mama that was not able to breastfeed her children, how do I get this to a child that, he's like, open it up, or, a little bit in there, sprinkle it in, start small, right? And start working your way towards supporting the gut. And so I want to actually, if you guys don't mind, hopefully you don't mind, I'm going to actually read to you guys what this gal sent me. And we were doing Digestin and also Terrazymes, right? But this is her testimony from Sunday. Okay, so she said, thank you so much. I'm sorry. She said, I gave my daughter the Terrazymes today. She hasn't pooped in 3 days. literally 10 minutes after I gave it to her, she went twice. Crazy how fast that works. Thank you so much. Also, we were talking to my mom, and anyway, they want to make plans with me to support him in other ways. But it's really neat how cool, like I don't know, did anybody else know we could do this? I mean, I know I didn't know this. I knew this in June. Like, that's how old this information is to me. If anybody else uses Terrazymes with their baby, please let me know. And for reference, this baby is 6 months old. So anyway, I wanted to share this with you because for all those parents that are actually having a lot of issues with their kiddos, open up your Terrazymes, put them into their shakes, into their smoothies, into their, if you can get it into their applesauce, right? Into their applesauce, pour that, sprinkle that in there, shake it up, have them take that. Claudia, if you follow Claudia on Instagram, has an amazing video of how quick Terrazymes work and how quick they start breaking up foods such as gluten and oats, etc., that flare up the gut, right? That cause more havoc and that create an unhappy home for an already unhappy home, right? So I always want to recommend go with what your doctor says, of course, right? And or if there's something that's already worked for someone and you feel like it might make an impact in your child's life, totally do it. For my child with ADD, ADHD situations, I always recommend using the Terrazymes, right? For Alexis, he uses Terrazymes often because he eats gluten, he eats processed foods sometimes, right? They're kids, right? Sometimes they're exposed to things like that. And to be able to support his gut, this is what I use for him. We'll notice as soon as he starts using anything in his diet that has gluten, etc., and he's not taking this Terrazymes, he'll have a rash all the way down his arm from just what it does to his body. And so it's obvious that it's necessary and it can be used in different forms for different kiddos. And so I want to jump into DigestZen, something super amazing that happens when you use DigestZen, whether it's too much poop, not enough poop, colic, bloating, etc. Anything related to digestive issues, DigestZen is the one to go to. It's a very simple one, very straightforward. You can utilize it as is and or you can dilute it. There's two versions, in a roller bottle or in a 15 milliliter, right? If you're feeling nauseous or if your kiddo gets like that reflux from certain smells or not really happy with certain smells, taking a little bit of DigestZen over the palm of your hand and kind of going like this so that they don't know what you're doing, but they're still getting the benefit of, is another way to support them, right? Running a diffuser in the area where they're going to be exposed to certain smells, or that's, you know, because DigestZen has that ginger in it and it helps support the gut so that you're not feeling like, okay, I feel nauseous in a car ride, etc. Wherever you want to use it, that you're going to have nausea, pull out your DigestZen, use it in your diffuser. It's totally fine, right? I'm not a big fan of fennel. It's not my favorite, but it's in this blend. However, like if you love it, that's another way to utilize it as well. And so I'm gonna actually stop talking for just a second so I don't feel like I'm the only one here. And I would love for someone on here to maybe perhaps share a moment where they have utilized DigestZen, what they used it for, and how it made an impact in their life. And I'm going to also check our chat here. Everybody's super quiet. I hope I don't have to pick on anybody.
Pick on me.
Okay, Martha, go.
DigestZen. I use it for my heartburn. I use it for my stomach pain. As soon as I have like I start with my stomach pain, I take some DigestZen. I gave and I talked to you about it. I gave a roll-on to this girl. She has like a 5-month-old, and she was crying and crying and crying, and she thought it was the shots that she just gave her, or 6 months old. But no, I mean, I put lavender on the shots where she got the shots, and then she kept crying and crying. So what I did, I got some DigestZen and I put it with some fractionated coconut, and she was calm. She was quiet. She was relaxed. But then I told the girl, you can keep it. You can take it if your baby starts having again that problem. You can use it. So then she called me 2 days later and she says, oh, my mom wants to know the name of the oil you made. And so I told her. And I said, she said she wants to get some because it helped her. And I said, your mom? She says, yes, she was having problems having a bowel movement. And she used it and it worked.
That's really awesome.
It works for that too.
So that was mom and a 5-month-old, is that right?
It was a grandma and the 5-month-old.
Amazing. And as Martha, thank you, Martha. As Martha's saying, like, can you imagine, like, I can't even imagine a baby going through so much colic or so much stomach problems, right? They can't tell us, all they do is cry and we have no idea what's going on. And being able to apply an oil like, for example, Digestin, and get rid of the problem, right? Get rid of the issue or support the baby in a way that. So I personally have been using Digestin with my little ones since birth because, like I mentioned earlier, formula reasons, right? We could never, until we found something that was more goat, right? In our lives, we were able to see a difference from whatever was on the shelves. And so in the meantime, we were depending on a lot of Digestin, et cetera, to support him. And Tulsi is a really great oil for those. I know I talked about Tulsi earlier. I don't know if I finished my sentence or not on it, but for sure, like Tulsi is one of those oils that doesn't get talked about enough. For those of you that are dealing with digestive issues and or maybe you've got a teen that's going through changes in hormones, et cetera, Tulsi is incredible for that. Like I can't even, I love that one. Anxiety, depression, support, etc. It's really awesome to use Tulsi with Copaiba or Adaptive together. And you will find what like night and day it does to the body. I need to use Tulsi more often and I don't because it's one of my favorites. And I'm like, I'm gonna save it. But anyway, it's such a great way to utilize it.
Jocelyn has a question.
Yeah, I'm sorry, what was that?
Jocelyn has a question.
Oh, Jocelyn.
Okay.
Hey there, sorry.
No, you're good. Hurry up. So actually, Jordan has a testimony about Digestin.
Hi, Jordan.
Hi. So why do you like oils in your water? Talk louder so they can hear you. Yeah, they help with his stomach ache. So the other day he ate way too many chips and he started complaining about stomach ache. And, you know, I ran to get Digestin. I gave him a massage and like 10 minutes later, he ran to poop. And then after that, he was fine. So this is a must have for us.
I can't drink
And-
water with oil and I go poop.
How do you use it for him? Was it on the tummy?
Yes, I use Digestin on the tummy and then I use peppermint on the water.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And just so that we are, thank you for sharing, Jocelyn. For those of you that are going to introduce essential oils internally in a water bottle for your kiddos, do you want to share what type of, how we want to utilize that or what we want to do, what practices we want to kind of do?
I usually just put 1 to 3 drops on like about, I don't know, like maybe 16 ounces of water because it's like a big bottle of water that they have.
And it has to be what, stainless steel and probably glass, right?
Yes.
No plastic, you guys. No plastic. Most plastic is like a cheap plastic. Our oils are gonna devour that plastic, break it down. You'll end up with even more microplastics in your environment. We want to avoid that. So if you're new to oils, you want to introduce like Mateo, for example, he does a 16 ounce and we do 1 drop of lemon and he loves it, or even lime. What he loves, lemon, lime, and lemongrass. Those are his go-tos. And we just do 1 drop in a 16 ounce and he drinks that throughout the day. And it has to be stainless steel and or glass is recommended when you're using oils internally. Okay. So thank you for sharing. Thank you all for sharing. It's really awesome to be able to share these testimonies. Again, I want to remind you all, we are all moms. We're just moms sharing what works for us, how we use things so that everybody can really see how simple it can be and how empowering and beneficial it can be to have some of these tools on hand. with that said, I want to talk a little bit about our probiotics. I feel like I've talked a little bit about them in the beginning. Again, just heads up, keep them on your LRP if you guys are using them, and or if you're brand new to them and you want to add them to your LRP. You will get a really cool price break and something special from doTERRA come September when we upgrade to the other form of probiotics. So there's two different versions of probiotics that we carry. Probiotics are, I'm learning, are very important because not only do they, I used to do them and I always recommend them because I'm like, hey, if we are dealing with ADHD, for example, in my case, right, we want to support that gut flora. It's really important, but it just turns out that our microbiome is like a whole like organ, like an invisible organ that, or body system, I should say, that we don't really talk about specifically, that is found in our genitalia, in our lungs, in our nose, in different areas of our body, has different microorganisms, et cetera. And so it not only supports your gut, but it actually is supporting a lot of different areas in your tummy. We are having a microbiome class at the end of the month. I won't get too into it right now, but just know this. It is essential to have a probiotic in your life, okay? It is essential. This is something that comes from one of my friends and doctor and friends that I've asked multiple questions on. For example, patients with cancer that are kind of weary on the probiotic situation, right? And again, I'm not a professional. This is just things that I'm sharing that I've talked to other professionals about. And so that's when, you know, you might want to think about it. But either way, right, talk to your doctor. That's really important. But it is essential for all of us to support our bodies with a probiotic. Very, very important, right? We take our LLV, we take our probiotics, and so on. And so in our MetaPower, right, these are three staples that are super crucial for overall support. So how do you support a child that cannot ingest a capsule? Is the question, okay? So tonight I have my friend and business partner, Bonnie, who is going to be talking about PB Assist Junior and how she uses it with her daughter. The PB Assist is recommended for ages 4 and up. You don't want to introduce that for younger ages, okay? So for ages 4 and up, there are really good brands out there for anybody that's got a baby and that needs a good idea of a good probiotic. I love Mount Capra. Mount Capra is located in Washington, Tacoma, Washington. And for anybody that is part of doTERRA, right, if you're familiar with Susan Johnson, this is one of her recommendations for supporting children. It's from Cabras, and so you're going to get a good source of probiotics for a younger age through them if you're looking for a younger age child to support them with probiotics. But in the meantime, as far as doTERRA is concerned, ages 4 and up, I recommend this to adults that don't ingest capsules, and just take them on a regular basis. Support your gut with this, support your microbiome with this. And so I'm going to send it out to you, Bonnie, if you want to talk about a little more of your experience and how you use your probiotics for your special need.
You're muted, Bonnie.
Well, I didn't want you to hear me anyway. So anyway, I have a special needs child and she uses a feeding tube in her belly. And I take the PB Assist Junior and I dilute it in a small amount of water and it goes right through her G tube. The purpose of this is because she's on chronic antibiotics and it kills her stomach flora. And the PB Assist helps her metabolize, it helps her stomach flora so it doesn't, because antibiotics break it down. But I also use the digestin. I roll it on her belly also because anyone who uses chronic antibiotics know that it causes diarrhea, and that helps her with her other problem when she's given so many antibiotics.
Thank you so much, Bonnie. I appreciate that. So as we may or may not know, the word antibiotic means anti-life, right? And so when we have to go the antibiotic way. This is something that I was sharing with one of my good dear friends recently. And you just have to do it, right? You just have to do what you got to do. If your child has an ear infection and it's not getting better, the mullein garlic oil is not working, the lavender and the basil are not doing the trick for whatever reason, right? You have to do what you have to do. But restoring the gut flora, just like Bonnie does, whether it's through a probiotic that's encapsulated or something that you can then dissolve and put through a G-tube and or just add into your mouth like my children do. This is something that we want to make sure that we're practicing, that we're supporting that gut flora with a good probiotic. So highly suggest it as a parent to a parent to consider adding this to your regimen. As a mom that has a child that I support through focus needs, right? We make sure that on an empty stomach, first thing in the morning is his probiotic. Alexis takes the double encapsulated probiotics, the PB Assist. Mateo takes the sachets, and we're good to go, right? We start our day like that. And so this is a great practice to begin your day with. This is something that I also learned from the great Susan Johnson, who, if you don't follow her, she's got a lot of great tips on supporting cancer patients, specifically children. So if you're not familiar with that page, highly suggest it. And other forms of support that you can utilize with doTERRA product as well. So hopefully, if anybody has a question, please feel free to unmute yourself. I wish Mateo was here today, but he is not. He did put on a show. We had a class today at the park here nearby, and he put on a show today telling everybody how much he loves his Deep Blue stick for, guess what, moms? Growing pains. I don't know if you guys have had to go through this situation with growing pains, but whether you have growing pains or you have a child that requires to be in a certain position for too long, and supporting the body with something as a famous product in doTERRA, Deep Blue, can be very, very supportive, whether that's your soccer child or et cetera, right? Deep Blue is a staple and a classic for pain, inflammation. It's a tissue regenerative. I'm going to have Jocelyn, who's on this call, talk a little bit about this if you're okay with that. Bruising and circulation as well. So supporting the body with that. The one product that we have that was able to get drug facts is our Deep Blue stick, for those of you that don't know this. And so it's recognized as something that we can say, hey, look, this has drug facts, and it can be used for arthritis. It can be used for this and this and that without getting in trouble, because it has a natural form of salicylate. And so that is found with the oil that's in the blend known as wintergreen, right? Wintergreen does that for us. And so therefore we can bottle it and sell it and advertise it as such, right? And so if you don't mind, Jocelyn, do you want to talk a little bit about Deep Blue and why the helichrysum is so important in this product, and why this can be such an impact to us parents and children, et cetera?
It helps restore the muscle tissue after, like working out. For my kids, I use it a lot because they do taekwondo. They're doing taekwondo right now almost every day. So definitely, like, every time after they're done, I give them a massage, and it helps them relax their muscles and just get them ready for the next day.
Thank you. I learned something about helichrysum a little bit ago. This is obviously not necessarily with the child. I had a client that had gone through Bell's palsy. At the moment, she's 27 years old. She's got Bell's palsy going on, right? And being a stroke survivor, the one thing that I could think of was, okay, we got to get our Copaiba. I think Deep Blue, and I'm pretty sure helichrysum could be supportive. So helichrysum is known, for those of you that don't know this, helichrysum is found in this blend, and it is known to regenerate tissue. So it supports that area of like whatever you've got going on. So that's why it is found in our Deep Blue blend. This is important to me, right? Because when we're dealing with issues such as tissue, et cetera, pain, muscle, et cetera, knowing that we can count on Deep Blue for not just being soothing, but doing more than that is really, really powerful for me. And so as a mom, when My child wakes me up at 3 a.m. because he's going through growing pains and he knows that his Deep Blue is going to take care of it. It is like so soothing, right? It's very comforting. It's very empowering. You don't know how many times with my first son, we had to use the Tiger Balm and then another thing and then another thing, because at the time we didn't have these products. And so I wanted to encourage you all, moms that have brand new babies with you tonight. Remember that you can utilize these tools on yourself, applying them after carrying or breastfeeding, holding baby arms, shoulders, the whole thing, whether you're hurting or not. Use your products, right? Because you want to make sure that you're supporting the tissue. I can't tell you how many times I failed to use my Deep Blue while I was going through the pandemic, helping a child with school, carrying another one on me, and I blew my back. And I had the answers right in front of me, but I didn't use them because I didn't know better, right? So I want to encourage you to use them. I want you to know that if your shoulder is hurting, apply it to the whole arm. That's how you're going to support the whole cause, right? That's how Boyd Truman says to do it. He's obviously a very amazing, successful man in supporting different clients and healing in the healing process of whatever journey they're going through. And so that was what was recommended by him. And I want to recommend the same to you. So if your knee hurts, apply it to the whole thing, support the whole situation with something amazing as our Deep Blue stick, blend, etc. So I think one thing that I will talk really, really quick before we jump into Symphony of the Cells, I'm going to give Alexis a heads up. Alexis. Ready? You can start laying down, sweetheart. Okay, so I will talk about foods and why this is important. You can really throw all the supplements, all the oils, all the probiotics to your child or to yourself, right? You can give them everything. But if you don't support them through foods, right? If we're not supporting them with eliminating things that can flare up certain things, like for example, that we know that gluten is not his favorite thing, and we know that red dyes, like anything that's found in a Gatorade, if it's the color red and if it's synthetically made, it's gonna cause all kinds of commotion. So being mindful about the foods that we are supporting our kiddos can be a huge thing. And the reason why, and I don't want to shame anybody on here at all. I just want to encourage you to really take a look at that aspect of things, right? Because if we're trying all the oils and all the supplements and all the things, but we're not really making an impact here, we're not going to really see a huge change, right? This is from a mom to a mom that has gone through this journey, that has had to cancel out Oreos, which was, I'm sure Alexis will agree, was heartbreaking for us, and the Gatorades, etc., right? Because we know how it'll affect them, and it's not necessarily in a great way. So I will recommend being a little more aware of that aspect of what is going in us, right? What's causing these things? Why are we acting like this, right? So anyway, with that said, I'm going to send it out to my friend and business partner, Claudia, who is going to give us a little intro on the 4 oils that we're going to be talking about for Symphony of the Cells. And it's all yours. You got the floor, Claudia.
Hi, everyone. I promise you guys this is going to be a short intro just because I know we're already past 8, so we don't want to bore you, and I know it's already late. It's really, really simple, guys. Symphony of the Cells is a collection of massage protocols formulated by Boyd Truman. I apologize, my camera is having a difficult, so if you could hear me, if you can't see me, my apologies. But if you already know who Boyd Truman is, he's the diamond leader in doTERRA. Presidential diamond leader in doTERRA, guys. When we got to meet him in June, I was just very impressed of how amazing he is as a human, and I was just very touched that I am like sharing Symphony of the Cells with everyone I know, guys. So the Boyd Truman created this protocols to just help you and more of the physically, emotionally, and spiritually within the body. Each protocol is really specifically to help your body to target those alignments that are in need. So maybe you may be asking yourself, like, what are the benefits of applying the oils to your body. You know, they're created with the knowledge that every condition is connected with the body system. So I know sometimes we as humans kind of tend to be a little skeptical when it comes to certain things, especially if you're new in the oil community. You know, that could be a little eerie, but it's pretty easy, guys. We're going to start with frankincense, tea tree, aroma touch, and peppermint. And how often you apply them is just pretty much you apply them as you need them. You could apply them 2 to 3 times a day if you have some type of condition, of course. And you could perform them as many times as you want. There's no right or wrong. But if you have some type of condition, it is recommended to be applying them 2 to 3 times for about a week to 2 weeks or as needed. And the recommended drops, it's about 4 to 6 drops when you are not having any type of condition. But if you are having any type of condition or your child is experiencing an ongoing condition or you're over 50 years old, they do recommend to start off with 1 or 2 drops. And of course, always using carrier oil. And I'm going to stop talking so you guys could see Fabiola start applying the oils. We can't hear you, Fabiola.
Okay, can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Alrighty, so Claudia, if you don't mind talking a little bit about with the basic protocol that we're just doing, we're gonna do the basic one, right? And it's only for oil.
Yeah, so we're gonna do the basic because I know this is the most easiest oil to use, the most so we're gonna start off with frankincense. And when we start with frankincense, as you guys saw, she's applying it. She's gonna apply it in her hands. She had him smell it specifically because we want to calm him down. When you're in this position, a lot of us tend to be very, very just weird about just sitting in a table or in a bed or in a floor. So frankincense, as you know, is the king of oils. So she's having him smell it. She's gonna apply it in the bottom of her feet. And this is the basic one. This is very basic. Everyone has probably a tea tree. I'm sure she's gonna, and he's about, Alexis is, how old is Alexis? 11, 12?
Alexis is 12.
Alexis is,
oh, I'm sorry. And he's done this before, so he's very comfortable. For those of you wondering if I'm putting my son on the spot, you should make sure that you have somebody, obviously like a model for this, right, you guys? I mean, he's super comfortable. So I want you guys to know that.
and it only takes about 5 minutes applying all of the oils. And the way you apply them in the spine, and then you do like a circular motion, and then you apply the rest in the feet, whatever you have.
My teacher here said circular motion, and I totally didn't do that. What I was just doing, you guys, I was going like this back and forth. But I think what she means is this, and I totally missed this one. But Mom is a little nervous.
It's okay. You're doing a good job.
Thank you. All right. The next oil that I'm going to be using is, I started with frankincense, right? Like Claudia was saying, tea tree oil. So we usually have all these oils on hand, right? And then aroma touch is the next one. Now, I know we're just doing a basic one, but because I know my child struggles with focus sometimes, right? ADHD, etc. This oil actually has a specific, let me just, yeah, I'm like, wait a minute, does it? Basil. So aroma touch has basil in it, and basil is a really great one for calming and soothing and focusing. So I just applied aroma touch on there. If you don't have these oils on hand, there's always a substitution that you can use. The point is to get the oils on the person. And the last oil that I'm using is peppermint. I'm already smelling it. and it smells really, really yummy. The whole room smells like a spa right now.
Always remember to use a carrier oil, especially when it comes to a hot oil like peppermint, because if the child or the adult or yourself has sensitive skin, it could be a little burning. So just make sure you are using carrier oil. Alexis is a champ, so he has this, like, put him on me, put him on me. And I would tell you that the possible conditions just for this basic applications, they help with anxiety, asthma, body aches, colds, congestion, diarrhea, earaches, fever, flu, headache, immune support, pink eye, RSV, sore throat, stomach ache, stress, and vomiting. So that's the possible conditions. It's supporting the digestive, the immune, and the respiratory. This is a basic application. If you don't have any of the other oils, I think this is just an amazing one to apply, especially if you have any of these possible conditions or anyone that knows that you know that.
Oof, your feet smell. I'm just kidding. Thank you so much, Claudia. I really appreciate you guiding us through it. So that was just 4 oils, okay? That was it. We just applied them. We did it like so. Highlighting that peppermint needs to be, if you are dealing with somebody with sensitive skin or a child, we were doing, because there's so many different protocols in here in the book of Symphony of the Cells. We were doing the Forgive protocol, and I actually totally messed up the situation by not diluting before applying cinnamon to his back, and he was not happy with me, okay? So remember, if you ever come into contact with an oil that is not comfortable for somebody's skin, add more carrier oil, never wash, don't add soap to it, don't start doing any of that, because it'll spread the oils even more and cause even more of a reaction, right? Meaning like you'll feel more of the warmth, etc. And so that's it. That's all you do. You just apply the oils in that form. The Symphony of the Cells books are incredible. If you don't have them, you don't need to be a scientist to follow these steps. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, boom, boom, boom. And just like Claudia was saying, they support all the different body systems in the digestive, immune, and respiratory category that go along with croup, diarrhea, earaches. I mean, the common things that we deal with our kiddos: anxiety, headaches, pink eye, RSV, like who hasn't gone through that, right? So all of those things to just support the different causes, right? So 4 oils for that cause. If you are not part of our...
Fabiola?
Yes, please.
And something that I know sometimes, if we're applying a lot of protocols to our kids, our husbands, anyone that it's in your circle, and you're probably thinking like, I'm applying all these kinds of oils. Is that going to benefit me? Of course it is, because you're getting it in your system. So don't worry about washing your hands and then applying it to your other child. You could just go ahead and apply them, because eventually you already know that those oils are pure and they're going to go into the system and they're going to be beneficial for you. So don't go and wash your hands. Just apply them and get everyone done at once.
I really needed that aroma touch on my hand after driving so long yesterday. It's like she says, it's perfect. Like everybody gets that support one way or another. As if you don't know this and you may be wondering like, why Symphony of the Cells, right? Why would I want to introduce this into my life with my oils that I already have at home? Well, we have a lot of nerve endings on the spine, a lot of nerve endings on the feet, right? We're going to support the body by driving those oils into the body and doing what they do for us, like the tea tree oil, right? All the things. So Alexis, how are you feeling? You want to come over here and just tell them that you're good, that you survived mom? The cinnamon was mild, yes. That was. You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Are you relaxed?
It's great.
He's a big fan of Symphony of the Cells. So
I asked you like multiple times, like in a year, to do it. You said you didn't know.
I didn't know until June. I wasn't comfortable with it. And that's why we want to share this with you guys, because I was overthinking it. When I was sitting in that class with Claudia that day, we were just like, oh, okay. Like, yeah, there's a lot of little things that you have to remember, right? Like delusion, when in certain cases, but it's pretty straightforward, right? If you're dealing with neural things, with lymphatic things, with inflammatory things, with hormone imbalancements, all of it is in here. These are different protocols. Tonight, we're just showing you a very simple way of using 4 different oils for so many different things. If you are not part of our oil community just yet, and or you were thinking about it, right? With the purchase of the 4 oils that we utilize today that have so many other different ways that you can use them, because oils are very versatile, we are gifting you the Symphony of the Cells booklets so that you have those. And with the purchase of the or the investment in these 4 oils, doTERRA, it's automatically giving you a free diffuser with this purchase. So if you are like a little on the fence and you want to get started, this is a really great incentive. Of course, you'll always be supported. We have a wonderful community. A lot of the ladies here are from our wonderful community as a whole, and there's a lot of classes going on this month that we're able to be a part of, and that's the plus of being part of our community. So if you're looking to get started, please reach out to the person that has invited you here, if that's through directly us, Claudia, Bonnie, Martha, myself, whoever is part of our organization. We are offering these freebies, and maybe chat with the person that invited you to see how they can support you in getting started. I will let you know lastly that if you are just looking to support your kiddo and you're here for the first time with 3 things that stood out to you, you choose. You begin your oil journey or your doTERRA journey however you want. There's no big investment. There's no membership fees that you have to worry about anymore. And if today, when I talked about Serenity stood out to you, grab Serenity, start your journey, start using Serenity in the different ways that we talked about tonight. And know that there's always other great benefits when you invest in your health in different forms. So you still will have the same support, etc. We just want you to know that you have a place where you can be supported with these tools and empower your kids to do the same with themselves, and domino effect on the family. So these are our Instagram handles if you're looking to ask specific questions for any of us 3. Oops, I'm dyslexic all of a sudden, and I spelled Claudia. It's dose underscore of Clau.
Daily dose.
Daily dose. Oh my gosh, daily dose. Can you drop that in the comments, please? And then as well, if you would like to also share your Instagram handle, it's the Jocelyn, please, so that if you have any specific questions on anybody that shared today and want to ask about, please feel free to reach out to us, and we'd be happy to support you in any way that we can. We'll leave it open. I know we went way past. I know it was a really intense class today. I was expecting it to go a little longer. Thank you for hanging with us today, and I'll hang out here for a few minutes if anybody has any questions, of course. Thank you for allowing Alexis to join us. He's very excited to always be on. No, I'm on this one. Let me see if we have any questions on here. And you're very welcome, Carmen. Thank you for being here. Thank you all for joining us.
Bye. Have a great day.
Thank you, Alexis.
See you downstairs.
Sounds good. Alexis is hungry. You're like, feed me, Mom. Thank you, ladies, so much for being a part of this. I really appreciate you joining. Okay, good question, Carmen. Carmen is asking for a dilution of frankincense in a roller bottle for a 7-year-old. I would do 7 to 10 drops. So put 7 to 10 drops in a 10 milliliter roller bottle, Carmen, and fill the rest with MCT oil, fractionated coconut oil, whatever oil you have on hand, and just roll on. That's all you have to do. And apply it on the base of the skull, frankincense, right? The base of the skull, underneath the jawline, behind the ear, spine, and bottoms of feet. I hope that's helpful. You're welcome, Ale. Thank you for being here. You're very welcome, Carmen. Please let us know how you enjoy that, Carmen, and if there's anything that I can support you with, also feel free to reach out.